have defended our freedom with the playing of our national anthem. Blair, Eau Claire, Immanuel, WIAA require good sportsmanship and education-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. We remind parents of young children to please keep your children with you at all times because we do not want them to wander outside the gym, and this is for their safety as well as others. Thank you. Now, let's welcome the Lancers of Eau Claire, Immanuel. Starting for the Lancers, a senior, number 11, Becky Nelner. A junior for the Lancers, number 14, Gwyneth Earl. For the Lancers, a junior, number 15, Savannah Wade. A freshman for the Eau Claire Immanuel Lancers, number 21, Paige Goodman. And a senior for the Lancers, number 24, Gabby Radical. The Lancers are coached by Missy Nelner. Now for the Wildcats, Blair Taylor. Freshman number 5, Kelsey Ritchie. For the Wildcats, a senior number 10, Andy Beck. A senior for the Wildcats, number 13, Andrea Volpera. For the Wildcats, a senior, number 20, Alyssa Savannah. For the Wildcats, a senior, number 21, Samantha Aguilar. The Wildcats are coached by Jesse Leon.
Hello and welcome to today's matchup between the Immanuel Lancers and the Blair Taylor Wildcats. Lancers currently 9-5 overall on the year, with the Wildcats coming in at 13-3. Wildcats first in the conference with an 11-2 record. Lancers right behind them at 8-4, currently just 2 games behind. The Wildcats beating the Lancers toward the beginning of the year by 35, 70-35. That was at Immanuel. Lancers also 10th in D5, 145th in Wisconsin, with the Wildcats coming in at 5th in D5 and 116th in Wisconsin. Second time these two teams have met. Lancers trying to even up the series and get within 1 game of conference, trying to keep their conference hopes alive. A big win against CFC the other night to set up a big matchup here. The 1 versus 2 in the small as the Wildcats start out with it. Gonna swing it to the corner. Good look at a 3. Gonna knock it down right off the bat. It's Kinsey. Averages 12.9 points per game. Starts out with a quick 3 here. Gurgle drives to the corner. Gonna get up to Nelner. Nelner in the paint with Quaid. Quaid will turn. Kick out. Gurgle had a look at it. Won't take it. Back to Nelner. Nelner fakes to the corner. Now gonna give it there. Goodman fakes. Back up high with Nelner. In the paint with Radical. Swings over to Quaid. Quaid drives inside, gets blocked, gets it right back, comes up short, tipped out of her hands, and taken away. Back up the floor goes Beck. She'll swing it across center. Taken right back by Gurgle. Gurgle has Radical ahead of her. Can't find her in time. Now going to try to find her late. Radical gets a hand on it, going to save it, swing it to the corner. Goodman got a good look. And she'll hit! Good response from Goodman in the transition. Nice find from Radical. And we're all tied up at 3. Goodman third of the Dairyland in three-point percentage at 37.8. As she hits her first here, quickly swung to the corner. Got a good look, won't take it, right back up top. Go right on her immediately. Beck spinning inside, right back to the corner. Into the paint, while Dare gonna turn. Dribbles out for a better angle. And gonna be called for a travel. So a couple of quick threes. Lancers defense makes a strong stand there. They're back down the floor. Game even at 3 with 16:45 and counting. Gurgle back up the floor for the Lancers. Drives towards Radical. Gonna hand it off to her. Swings to the corner with Goodman. Goodman fakes, looking for options. Dribble up high. Pass deflected and gonna be taken away. Up the floor goes Kinji. Nice little move inside. Can't quite finish. Rebounded by Quaid. And she'll hand it off to Gurgle. Quaid averaging 7.5 rebounds per game. That is 4th in the Dairyland. As Gurgle looking for an option, will get it over to Radical. I give him for a second. Now going to look opposite. Gives it back up high to Gurgle in the end. Back over to Nelner. Nelner had some space for a moment. Going to skip pass across. Radical steps in to get it. And is fouled on the drive inside. Going to get a pass in baseline. First foul of the night. Going to go against number 20, Smetana. Nelner on the pass in. Gonna give it high to Goodman, pass deflected, still gonna be handled. Right back in the paint with Nelner. Nelner spins, triple teamed, and a travel. Another strong defensive stand for the Wildcats. Remain tied at 3, exactly 16 minutes to go. They'll be back up the floor for the Wildcats. Over to Kinji, gonna go to the corner. Into the paint, while there a little bit of space, she'll pull up from where she is, bounces up and out, tip to the corner, can't be saved, out of bounds, last touched by Aguilar. Back to Lancers, it'll be Gurgle who will take it up the floor. Drives towards Radical, gonna hand it off to her, pass deflected out of her hands, tipped out of bounds, last touched by the Wildcats. Right into the Wildcat fan section, did not like that call at all. Nice will maintain possession with Nelner on the pass in. Can they get something out of it? Gets back to Gurgle. Pressure on her from Kinji. Drives to the side. Nelner coming behind her. Gives it corner to Goodman. Goodman quickly to Quaid. Back out to Radical. Radical good look. Won't take it. Gonna step inside. Right back up high to Gurgle. Fakes and go to Nelner. Looks to Quaid. No option. She'll fake look to drive inside. Tip out of her hand. She'll get it back. Drive back toward the corner. Pass in the paint to Radical. Radical one-on-one. Double team. Gonna go up anyway. And another travel in the paint. Once again, the 3rd of the night. 2 on the Lancers, 1 on the Wildcats. As the Lancers have seen enough, gonna call timeout with 15:15 to go. We're tied at 3 with a 3 from Goodman and from Kinji. Timeout tied at 3 apiece with 15:15 to go. Over the Wildcats back up the floor after a travel from Radical. They'll be back taking up the floor for the Wildcats. Lancers got a high press. Going to get around to Kinji. Kinji is going to go corner. Skip pass across. Radical read it well. She's got a step on him. Finishes on the other end. Radical's on the board. The Lancers go up by 2. Radical averaging 4.6 steals per game, gets her first there. That's first in the Dairyland as well. Averaging 15.8, gets her first 2 here. Her points per game at the 3rd in the Dairyland. Good find inside and can't quite finish in the paint. Tipped out of her hands and taken away by Quaid for her 2nd board. Good find to Fletcher, as she was the first up off the bench. Couldn't quite finish. Now Neller goes in baseline, bad angle. And a travel going to be called. Wanted to go out for the shot. Ended up realizing in midair she was on the wrong side of the backboard. Tried to get the pass off in time, but couldn't. The Wildcats forcing a turnover with number 12, Peterson, entering in for them for Smetana. Wildcats over the floor, trailing by 2. See if we can get another good look at the basket. Deep three here from Kinji. That one going to head long. Tipped out of her hands, back into the hands of Waldera. Skip pass across, back to the corner. Front of the line, won't take the three. Back up top, Beck will step inside. Cut off by Radical, swings it back high. Kinji tries again. This one will bounce out as well, rebounded by Radical. Radical averages 12.5, that is first in D5. One of the best Lancers rebounders in their history. As this one finds Quaid, had some space, didn't turn, gonna kick it back out and around. Renell in the paint with Goodman. Goodman back up top with Quaid. Quaid will fake, she'll step inside. Good little move. Quaid can't finish, tipped up in the air by Neller, but ends up into the hands of Peterson. Back up the floor goes Beck. Swings it over to Peterson. Back up high with Beck. Skip to the cross, back to the corner. Back up high, a little bit too high for Kinji, gonna save it in the corner. And back across for Beck. Beck will step in. Radical can't quite get underneath it. Back to the paint. Quaid tries to skip it up. Waldera steps inside and she'll finish. Waldera on the board for the first time tonight, averages 16.8 points per game. That's first in the Dairyland. With Radical not too far behind her. This one will find Quaid. Back out to Radical. She'll fake, step inside. Back over to Nelner. Nelner trying to go baseline. Bad angle. Gives back out to Radical. Radical deep 2. Rims up and out. Rebound inside. Tipped around. And ends up in the hands of Waldera, averaging 11.1 rebounds per game. As you just heard, leading rebounder in program history for the Wildcats. This ends up in points on the other end. With a nice find to Kinji. Kinji's got 5. And a timeout going to be called by the ref, I believe. Just an official's timeout. As bodies hit the floor, they're all back up. Entering back in will be Smetana for Peterson. So, not going very deep in their bench. Keeping with their regulars. Lancers still yet to go to the bench so far tonight. Gurgle, nice move, gonna get around. Over to Radical. Looking for an option, skip pass across to Nelner. Quickly to Quaid. Quaid finds Radical. Radical on the lane inside. Good step through. Can't finish. Gets her own rebound. Bad angle. Steps out. Needs an option. Goes right back inside. Trying to draw the foul. Can't do it. Rebounded by Waldera. Push to the corner. Back up top. Back across. Waldera won't take it. Back high. Pass a little bit low. Going to take the three anyway. And going to knock it down. How about that from Beck? Pass low. Had to get it out from between her legs. Ends up putting it up and finding it for her first point tonight, averaging 8.3 a game. Goodman steps up. High to Nelson, a little bit too high. She can't save it. Going right back to the Wildcats, up by 5, 10-5 with 12:06 to go. Back just an 18.6%. And not a lot of space there either. Might have had if she caught it cleanly. As this one's deflected. Radical gonna take it away once again. Pressure on her. Can't finish. Rebound Kurgel. It's taken down on the jumping Kinji. As the Lancers get another pass in baseline. Second team foul on the Wildcats. Still none for the Lancers. And they're going to change that. It's actually going to go against Smetana, who now picks up her second. Sub will most likely come in for her. It'll be Aguilar. And Smetana will once again head to the bench for the second time tonight. Probably won't return for a while. 11:54 to go. Got her second fairly early here in the first half. As they're going to pass it in and trying to find Radical. Radical steps through. Comes up short. Going to be handled. Looking for a jump ball. And they're going to get it. Milner holding on with one hand for quite a while. Waldera was just going to accept it. Ref wasn't fully convinced it was a jump ball. Then she saw that Waldera wasn't going to try to pull away and eventually just called it. That's going to stay with the Lancers. We'll see if they can get points off of this. Lydia enters in. First sub of the night for the Lancers. Going to go in for Radical, who heads to the bench with just 2 points for the Lancers. Goodman with the other 3 as he'll quickly send it high to Nelner. Corner to Goodman. Not a lot of space. Going to send it back high to Nelner and they'll reset. Nelner driving inside. Hand off to Quaid. Back up high with Gurgle. Pass low. Going to get it anyway. Back to Quaid. Kick out Goodman. Had some space. Won't take it. Going to drill back high and hand off to Gurgle. Gurgle looking towards Nelner. Going to find her. Nelner fakes in the drive inside. Pass out to Quaid. Quaid a nice look. Deep 2. Comes up short. Quaid hits the floor and it's rebounded by Beck. Beck averaging 2.8 rebounds per game. Already her second tonight. She'll swing into the corner. Good look from Aguilar. She'll take it. Comes up short. Rebounded by Gurgle. Gurgle averaging 2.2 rebounds per game, gonna get her first here tonight. Gonna drive inside, nice little lane, gonna kick out Lydia. Lydia fakes a three, steps in, little floater, sends it long. Had a couple of those in the JV game, can't finish here. That's pushing the floor now is Kinji. Back up high with Aguilar. Swings it over the back. Beck got a good look, won't take it. Back to Bing with Waldera. Fakes, back up high with Beck. Back in the change direction, giving it a nice screen. Fakes a deep two, pass deflected twice, still getting into the hands of Aguilar. Pass tipped out of bounds, last touch by Goodman. And that's going to stay with the Wildcats in the corner. That's going to come in from Kinji. You can easily find Ledger. Pass deflected, back up top with Aguilar, going to go corner. Back a good look, won't take it. Skip pass across, tipped, taken away by Lydia. Hands off to Gurgle. Gurgle looking for an option, going to slow it down. Now quickly corner to Goodman. Goodman going to take the quick three. Just bounces out, rebound Quaid, she's fouled. Good look from Goodman, ends up missing her first of the night. Now 1 for 2 at 50%. Ends up in the hands of Quaid. Gets her third rebound of the night. Ends up drawing the foul for another third team foul. And the first one against Beck. Other two gone against Matana, who's currently on the bench. Quaid at the free throw line. Currently shooting 53.3 on the year. First one bounce off the front rim, as entering in will be Peterson once again. This time for Beck. Trying to avoid Beck getting her second foul, but on the floor for quite a long time as well. Give her a couple minutes rest with 10:30 to go. She's got 3 in this game. Currently 1 for 1 at the three-point line as well. Quaid's second statistically should fall. And it will. And 6 to 4-point lead for the Wildcats as they have stalled here as of late. Trying to get the offense back going is Kinji up top, guarded by Gurgle at blue line. Gonna step inside, has a good look at the three. Won't take it, gonna give it back over to Ledger. Back across, Aguilar to the side, Peterson. Steps out, pressure comes, Lydia gonna poke it away, now stuck in the corner. And a timeout called before the pass. Saw trouble, decided to go for the timeout. Wildcats will maintain possession when we return. 10:14 to go. It's a 4-point lead for the Wildcats, 10-6. And we're back for the timeout. 10-6, 4-point lead for the Wildcats, trying to extend that here. They've run a little bit of a drought here in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Pass will come in from Peterson, has corner, gonna find Ledger. Steps back high. Back up top, gonna swing it across to Aguilar. Right back to her. Thinks about it. Gonna go corner, swirl with Radical, she'll take it away. Now out of space, takes it all the way in anyway, pokes away, gonna get it back, and foot on the line. Nearly got away with it. Ref was still coming up from behind. Just couldn't quite pick it up in time. There's a couple of stuff to learn now to be 2 and 10. Important for the first time tonight, the freshman along with Beck, who just has one of the 3 fouls for the Wildcats tonight. Back in the swing at corner, Lydia trying to pick it off. Comes up with nothing. Radical read it well, but couldn't quite catch it on the dribble. Yeah, she had nothing but brown wood ahead of her. As now a timeout going to be called. Radical looking for some assistance. And possibly a bleeding finger is what appears to be, or wrist. As the managers will get out a Band-Aid. And she is back in. We are ready to continue. It'll be Peterson on the pass in from the side. Fakes, looking for an option, and hand off up top with Aguilar. Steps around, not back up top with Peterson. Hook it to the side, Waldera. Back up top, no look pass. Good look, gonna knock it down. Peterson, a nice hit to put it back up by 7. Gurgle drives to the corner. Fakes. Over to Lydia. Into the paint. Pass deflected twice. Gonna end up being picked up by Peterson. Beck gonna try to push it. Swings it back over. Peterson back to Aguilar. Aguilar, good look. Missed her first. This one doesn't hit either as Radical will skip up the floor to Lydia. Trying to push it. Back over to Gurgle. Gets set. Fakes. Drives towards Nelner. Had Radical for a second. Can't find her now. Over to Quaid. Poked out of her hands and taken away. Swings it corner to Beck. Back to Aguilar. Won't take this one. Back up high with Beck. Within the paint. Double teamed. Back out. Aguilar. This time she'll take it. Rims out. Rebound inside by Horton. Little fadeaway. Can't hit. Tipped out of bounds. And a foul going to be called on Aguilar. Now the 14th foul. Lancers still yet to pick up their first. It'll be the first on Aguilar with 8:41 to go. Blair will pass it into Gurgle. Goodman getting ready to check in. Lancers trying to get the offense going. Pass to Nelner. Gonna handle it. Back to Radical. Radical deep two. Won't take it. Takes a step inside over to Quaid. Quaid will split the defense. Little jumper. Rims out. Quaid, that's twice. Had some good looks. Just can't quite get a roll. As now they'll push the floor with Beck. Beck into the paint with Wildcats. Double team once again. Skip pass across. Red well from Gurgle, so take it away. Lancers defense on point tonight. Every point the Wildcats have scored has been earned. Lancers all get steals as well. As now Radical, bad angle. Going to get it out to Nelner. Nelner, good look. That one sent long as well. Rebound and tipped up the floor to Beck. Lancers getting the looks they wanted. Just not being able to hit now. A couple times on the floor. This pass a little bit too high for Walter. Trying to force it in. And Lancers force another turnover with Goodman now entering back in, along with Ledger on the other side for Horton. And Miller for the bench for the first time tonight for the Lancers. 13-6 Lancers with their three-point threat now back on the floor. See that'll open up things a little bit more inside. As Gurgle will take it up the floor. Goodman saves up for help, so go opposite with Lydia. Lydia steps inside. Corner to Radical. Looking for the skip pass. Gonna find it. Goodman won't take it. Back out with Gurgle. Gets a swung around to Radical. Right back over to Goodman. Deep two. Comes up short. Tipped. Rebounded by Quaid. Quaid to the corner with Lydia. Trying to go in baseline. Back up high with Quaid. Quaid to deep two. That one can't find anything. And it'll be picked up by Peterson. Back to Blair once again. Too high. Back-to-back high pass for Blair in the paint. As the Lancers have their opportunities now. Offense once again has stalled for the Wildcats. Stalled for about 2 or 3 minutes. Hit a big three. Try to get things back home, but not the last 2 minutes. Once again have struggled on the offensive end. And the Lancers do something about it. Back to Goodman. Into the paint with Radical. Back high with Gurgle. Swings it over. Back to Lydia. Over to Quaid. Quaid steps inside. Can't finish again. Tipped around. And going to be rebounded by Aguilar. Nice movement. Good look once again. Lancers still can't knock it down. As Aguilar fakes and swing it across. Picked up by Radical once again. Another great defensive stand. Gurgle now have options. He'll dribble it back out and around to try to reset. Over to Goodman. Back up high with Gurgle. Fakes. Going to go over to Lydia. Pass deflected. Lydia right there to get it. Gonna step back inside. Pass across to Radical. Too high. Last touch by the Wildcats. That's going to stay with the Lancers. As Peterson touched it on the way out. Going in now is Kinsey for Peterson. 13-6. Lancers keeping it a low-scoring game. Let up 70 points in their first meeting. The final score ended up being 70-35. Only 13 points with only 6:32 to go. A vast improvement in their defense on point so far today. Corner to the Gurgle. She's got a good look and a spin out of it. Back over to Radical. Radical will take the deep two. Going to come up short. Tipped out. Radical with a rebound. Hands off to Goodman over to Gurgle. Gurgle steps up. Going to slow it down. Over to Goodman. Back high with Gurgle. Fakes. Has Goodman. And they'll stop. There it is. Won't take it. Back over to Gurgle. Drives towards Lydia. Fakes. Corner to Quaid. Quaid up to Radical. Radical spins. Hands off Lydia. Swings it all the way around to Goodman. Skip pass across to Lydia. Lydia will step inside. Pass deflected. Quaid going to get a handle on it. Back up to Radical. Redwell take it away. Ball on the floor. Aguilar will eventually pick it up. Beautiful steal from her. As the defense makes a stop. Radical takes it away once again. One-on-one the other way. She'll finish. Radical with her 6th steal already here in the first half. as the Wildcats not a response to this defense so far in the last few minutes. And there's a travel as well, going right back to the Lancers. Couple of bad turnovers, couple of steals from Radical. Lancers right back within 5. Chance to bring it down to a 1-possession game as Nelner Leonard back in for Quaid. Leo pass into Gurgle. Lancers trying to ride the momentum off their last points off the fast break from Radical. Gets it over to Lydia. Drives inside. Corner to Goodman. Finds Nelner. Nelner got the one-on-one. Over to Radical. Pressure comes, and a jump ball going to be called. That one going to go with the Wildcats. They make a stand. Still trying to get that offense going. As the pass will go in to Beck. Last 5 times down the floor, have turned it over 3 times, been stolen away from Radical twice, haven't had possession for more than 7 seconds. They're going to slow this one down here, going to get it to Beck. Pass across Wildera. Wildera, good look. Going to rim out. Tipped out of bat. Nope, going to be saved by Nelner. She'll save it. Gurgle going to save it on the sideline. Not a lot of options in front of her. She'll slow it down. But a better offensive possession for the Wildcats. She'll swing it over to Goodman here. Back up high with the Radical. Needs an option. Wants someone to go into the paint. Pass to Nelner. Tipped away. Ball on the floor. And a foul going to be called on Nelner. That'll be her first and the team's first as well with 4:50 to go. Eichstätt going to add for the first time tonight for the Lancers. Along with Peterson on the other end, Lydia heads to the bench. After being the 6th man on. Eichstätt will get a few minutes on. We'll see if she remains for the rest of the half. As Quaid's on the bench for a while, she will be the next one in momentarily. Back up high with Kinsey to the corner. Back up quickly with Kinsey. Kinsey a deep 3. Gonna knock it down. Kinsey again. It's her second. Doubles up the Lancers now 16-8 with 4:30 to go. And call on Girl. As the Wildcats get the big hit, get the big stop. See if they can keep that momentum going. As they try to build up their lead as we head closer and closer to the end of the first half. Back to the corner with Lindsay. Wildera going to handle it. Back up with Beck. Beck will step inside. Back over to Ledger. Skip pass across. Peterson, not a good angle. Looking to kick it out and find Beck. Beck got a good look at a 3. Going to rim out. Rebound Wildera. Steps out for a deep 2. Gets blocked by Nelner. Tipped up in the air. Rebounded by Radical. She'll dribble out of it. And he'll try to push the floor. Tipped out of her hands. Nelner gets a hand on it. Going to pull up quickly. Bounces up and out. And rebounded by Kinsey. Swings it over to Peterson. Back to the corner. Into the paint. Wildera, good look. One with Eichstätt. Banks it in. Wildera's got 4 timeout calls by the Wildcats. As entering in will be Horton during the timeout. 3:46 to go. A 10-point lead for the Wildcats. 18-8 here in the first half. Out of the timeout, 18-8, a 10-point lead for the Wildcats. After Wildera just hit her 4th point of the night. As it was the Wildcats who called that point, or called that timeout. Thought possibly they might come out with a press, and not seem to be doing so. As with 3:46 to go, Lancers need to keep this one close. Can't let it get away from them, as they did in that first game. They've kept it close. They've kept the scoring down. They finish off the half with a couple of points. And get someone in striking distance going to the locker room. Gurgle spins around. Not a good look. Nelner changes direction. Going to find her. Gets her handle on the dribble. Forced back out. Pass taken away right out of her hands. Now a jump ball going to be called to stay with the Lancers. But Wildera read it well. And now they're going to change that to a foul. Called against Radical. Wildcats on a nice 5-0 run. They've got a couple of stops. Looking to keep this one well out of the reach of the Lancers going into the half. Radical swats it away. Ends up bouncing out of bounds. It'll stay with the Wildcats once again. Radical having one of her best defensive nights so far. As we're going to need to try to keep going. 4 of their 8 points have been on transition. Into the paint. Spinning. Wildera. Going to bounce out. Tipped up in the air. Rebounded by Radical. She'll slow it down. And find Gurgle. Quickly to Nelner. Nelner drives inside. Has a lane. Blocked once again by Wildera. Back to back getting the block on Nelner. Gurgle with a lot of pressure on Kinji. She'll spin. Like it's an option. Gets it over to Ledger. Right back up top to Kinji. Kinji will drive around inside. Puts up a little floater and will knock it down. Kinji's now got 8 and a lead up to 12. Over to Goodman. She'll step up, gets it over to Nelner. Into the paint with Radical. Right got the one-on-one. Pressure comes. Kick out. Gurgle. Thinks about a 3. Step around. Finds Goodman. Goodman not ready for it. She'll dribble out. Back over to Radical. Radical to one-on-one. Takes. Spinning inside. Doesn't have a good angle. Works for a better angle. Little fade. Gonna knock it down. Nicely done from Radical. She's got 6 and a lead down to 10. 2:12 to go. Lancers have yet to get a stop in the last 2 possessions. Trying to get the offense going on their end. Can they build that momentum up with a stop? There it is! Radical with space in front of her. Gets blocked from behind. Gurgle with the rebound. Banks it up and in as well. Kinji, a nice job getting back. Not letting Radical get the free points. Good job from Gurgle to be there. High off the glass, trying to avoid getting that block, and does. Now Kinji, good look for a response, and will hit it as well. Kinji's 3rd 3 of the night. Lancers finally stringing a few together. Kinji slams the door right on him. Back to an 11-point game. Gurgle spins around, fakes to Nelner, finds her inside. Back over to Radical, tipped, saved, out to Goodman. Goodman, good look. Can't respond. Rebound Quaid inside, little fade. Can't bank it in. Rebound Quaid again. This time she's fouled. 1:20 to go. The 15th foul on the Wildcats. Most likely will not get to the bonus. Or this will be a shooting foul, so Quaid will head to the line for her 3rd and 4th free throws of the night. Currently went 1 for 2 her first time around. That's where she stood most of the year. That's her first one here. Will bounce out. And bring it back down to a 10-point game with her second as Hammond enters in for Radical. Radical most likely sit for the rest of the half. As 12 and 2, Horton and Peterson will exit. Quaid's second free throw to make it a 10-point game. Will bounce out as well. Handled by Beck. Lancers come up empty on the trip down the floor. 1:15 to go. Pass to the paint. Aguilar wasn't ready for it. That'll tip out of bounds off her hand. And Lancers going to get right back with 1:11 to go. Lancers don't really feel too pressured here. If they can limit Wildcat positions to only 1 or 2 more, keep this game where it is. Not a bad position as Hammond gets in the corner, tipped out of her hands, she'll get it back. Needs an option, trying to get to Quaid, tipped out of her hands and taken away. Trying to push the floor, all alone inside. Kinji will finish, and it leads up to 13. Kinji having herself a night. As she now has 13, finds Nelner. Nelner fakes, finds Quaid, a little bit late, gonna handle it anyway. Steps inside, hand over top to Gurgle, that's poked away. And last touch by Gurgle. 37.3 to go. And the Lancers, in fact, did not try to limit possessions. Wildcats going to get now their second since I've said that. Got a free bucket on a nice steal. Back now swing inside. Wildera all alone. And the wheels starting to come off for the Lancers. Exactly what could not happen with that 2 minutes left. Had it within 11. Now they're down 15. Offense showing no signs of life as Goodman stuck within the corner, now going to dribble up, picks up her dribble, finds Quaid, tipped out of her hands and taken away. Rolling around on the floor. And last touch by the Lancers, 8.9 to go, and they're going to give the Wildcats one last possession. They try to bring this one up. Already up 15, chance to bring them for a 17, 18.8, 8.9 to go. They're probably going to be trying to find Kinji for the last second shot. Let's see him get a really good look inside. Kinji's got it now with 5 seconds to go. 4, swings up top. Ledger swings the corner. Back a good look at the buzzer. Comes up short. Well, there can't get there in time. 27 to 12. A nice run at the end for the Wildcats. Put themselves up by 15. They got a strong lead going into the second half. Not on pace what they had the first game. But from where this game started, Lancers kept it close, strong, defensively. started to come undone there at the end. We'll see what they come out with coming out of the half. Needing to find some answers. Down 15 on the road. 27-12. We'll be back in 10 minutes for the second half. back for the second half. 27-12. That's a 15-point lead for the Wildcats coming into the second half. A nice little run to end that half. See if they can keep it going. Lancers need to come out strong. They want to have a chance of staying in this game. Second half's work out really bad in the first meeting between these two teams. That's the Wildcats, what they've been doing all year. Get a nice, strong lead in the first half, and then come out and just take away all hope right away out of the gate. As Gergel will step inside, swings it over to Nelner. Hands off to Goodman. Thinks about it, slide out of her hands. That's going to stay with Lancers. You need to pass it from the deep corner. It'll be Nelner. Radical will run out. Nelner gets the pass. Driving inside. Takes a couple of bumps. Blocked by Waldera once again. Ends up being handled by back as the Wildcats go right back on offense. Swings it to the corner. Good look from Kinji. Now going to be sent long. Rebounded by Waldera. Off a foot. Ends being picked up by Gergel. Gergel will dribble out of it and back up the floor. Slowing it down. Drives around. Looks for Nelner. Can't find her. Going to change direction back over to Radical. Radical steps up high. Got Goodman coming through the lane. Going to hand off to Nelner instead. Nelner goes corner to Goodman. Gets a screen from Radical. Hands back off to Radical. Radical steps aside. Hands off to Nelner. Nelner looking for a lane in. Gets a good look. And she'll knock it down. Nelner on the board for the first time tonight. Averaging 8.4 points per game. Had a very nice night against CFC. One of her best nights of the year. As they end up getting that win, 51-48. As this pass goes high, that's going to be a backcourt violation. As Beck picks it up. Lancers get it right back. And there's the nice start they needed. Didn't do well on their first possession. Got the ball swung around, got their spacing on the second. Nice defensive stand, forced the turnover, 27-14. Chance to bring it back down to a 10-point game with a 3. As this one going to go into Radical, a little bit long, and can't be saved. Right idea, they've gotten it a couple times this year, but that pass, a little more of a laser than a lob up, is against Waldera, so does have to be a little bit firmer, but can't be a straight line pass. Got to get some loft on it. Radical got to be able to go up and get it instead of trying to run out of bounds and throw it back in behind her. Quick pass over to Kinji. Right back over to Beck. Beck will step inside. Quickly back over to Kinji. Kinji got a good look. Won't take it. Back to the corner with Spatana. Back up top with Kinji. Not Kinji. Beck. Good find. This one will bounce out as well and rebounded by Radical. So a couple of good looks on threes from Kinji and Beck. Neither can hit. Leaving the door open for the Lancers. So she'll swing it over to Radical. Wants to drive inside. There it is. Finds Quaid. Good find. Quaid can't finish once again. Lancers struggling to finish around the bucket. Kinji driving inside. Little hop step. Ends up being picked off by Nelner. Back up to Gergel. Has Goodman. Goodman got a good look. Won't take it. Back up high with Gergel. She'll turn. Try to get the edge on Kinji. Back up beyond blue line. Gonna get up to Nelner. Nelner fakes the pass inside. Gonna get a screen from Radical. Nelner trying to step through. Gets it poked away. Gonna take a shot anyway. This one will bounce out. Tipped by Radical. Tipped out of her hands. This one will be last touched by Quaid. And that's gonna go right back to the Wildcats. Up to Kinji. Back over to Beck. Beck will drive to the corner. Pass deflected and out of bounds. Stay with the Wildcats on the sideline. Got Kinji high. Spatana will step in behind her. Going to the paint. Double team, kick out. Steps around looking for Kinji. Gonna change direction inside. Good little move. Draws the foul. That'll be heading to the line. They'll be back. First team foul on the Lancers of the half. Gonna go against Nelner, which is her second. Fouls at a very low for the Lancers, especially in that first half. Nelner only with her second, only had 3 team fouls total in that first half. As Beck will hit her first free throw, currently a 49.4% free throw shooter. So not great odds to make the second one. Trying to make it a 15-point game. Indeed will bounce out, rebounded by Nelner. Nelner averaging 4.6 rebounds per game, picks up her third here. Good find for Radical, sends it too long. Radical keeps her hands on it to draw the jump ball. That one going to go back with the Wildcats. Regardless, does get the arrow right back in their favor as Aguilar's return from the locker room. As she did not start in the second half. Does seem to be okay. As up the floor goes Kinji. Kinji to the corner. Back up high with Beck. Back to the corner with Peterson. Into the paint. Good find. Got some space. This time she'll finish. Have struggled to find Waldera when they do, as finished on the regular. as she once again now puts them up 16. High to the corner with Radical. Skip pass across. Goodman the open three. There it is! Beautiful find from Radical. As the Lancers trying to keep this one close, now within 13 once again. Back over to Kinji. Corner to Peterson. Back to the paint, this time deflected and taken away by Radical. She'll push the floor, has a 2-on-2. Steps in and draws the foul. First team foul on the Wildcats at the half. Ties up the Lancers. And will go against Beck, which is her second. So Lancers doing what they need to do. Find Radical in that corner. She can make the strongest get pass. One of the tallest Lancers here besides Goodman. Goodman is the one who hit that three, her second of the night. As Radical's first free throw will bounce him out. 58.8% free throw shooter. She has taken and made the most free throws of any Lancer so far this year. And that does not seem to change, although she is just shooting her first two of the night here tonight. Very rare, had as many as 14 in one half, as she will make her second. Keep it strong at 3% to start us off, as Lancers bring it back within 12, 30 to 18. Back over to Peterson, to the corner. Good hands from Radical to tip it out of bounds. With Radical on the floor, teams try to stay away from that corner. If they do get that corner, they want it really quick. Radical's so good at reading it. Had 6 steals in that first half, yet to get one here tonight, as this will be a spin. Bouncing out, rebounded by Nelner, tipped in the hands of Gurgle. Dribbles around, Radical in the corner, we'll see if they give it to her. Gonna go opposite, finds Nelner. Radical drives into the paint. Good hands, double teamed. Back over to Goodman, Goodman the open three. Hits it again! Goodman starting to get heated up. Lancers right back within 9. Big thing the Lancers need to do is find Radical. And Goodman needed to go find a corner. They've done both those things very well so far tonight. Good pass in the paint. Quaid went a little bit far. Blair, I thought she was right behind her. Ended up going for a pump fake. Would have gone up right away. She had a better look at it. Ended up delaying. Comes up short. And the Lancers now a chance to bring it back even closer. Radical the open three. This one going to bounce out. Rebounded by Quaid. Gets it back to Nelner. Nelner, good look. And she'll finish. Lancers on a strong ground. They're back within 7. Struggled a little bit in the first few minutes, now have really heated up to start off the second half. Exactly what they need to keep this game close into the corner. Peterson the three. That one going to bounce out as well. Going to be handled inside by Aguilar. She can't finish. Rebounded by Quaid. Quaid will hold it. By Gurgle. Goodree going to be taken away by Kinji. Needs an option. Timeout going to be called. A sloppy turnover from the Lancers, especially when they had things going their way. Wildcats get in the corner, call the timeout though, maintain possession coming out of the break. 13-20 to go, Lancers have it back within 7. 30 to 23 after trailing by as many as 17. Timeout. 30 to 23, a strong run for the Lancers here, as they have picked it up coming out of the half. Defense has held strong these last possessions. Did get a nice little rebound earlier. However, was taken away. Reason for the timeout. And the Wildcats another chance to put some points back on the board. Into the paint with Waldera. Pressure comes. Kick out. Kinji. Quick release. Bounces out. Rebounded by Waldera. She'll dribble back out and find Kinji again. Kinji has yet to hit a three in this half after hitting 3 in the first half. Good find inside for Aguilar. This time they'll roll in. And the needless turnover on this side of the floor proves costly for the Lancers. Gurgle trying to dribble through the pressure. Gonna find Nelner. Nelner steps inside. Hands off to Goodman. Goodman fakes. She'll step up and around. Back over to Radical. Fakes in the bank and go back high with Gurgle. Gurgle steps in. Gonna go quickly to the corner. Nelner thinks about 3. Back high with Gurgle. Back over to Radical. Radical open 3. Won't take it. This time we'll step inside. Kick out. Nelner. Thinks about it. Back high with Gurgle. Fakes. She'll step in. Back over with Nelner. To the corner with Quaid. Back up high with Nelner. Pass taken out of her hands. Gonna get it right back over to Gurgle. Cannot get it swung back over corner to Goodman. Gurgle will drive that way. Once again, forced back out. Radical forces it over to her. Back up high with Gurgle. Swings around to Radical. Radical looking to step inside. No option. Corner. Nelner. Into the paint with Quaid. Quaid bad angle. Gonna spin. Look for a better one. Puts it up. Pressure there. Taken away. Ball on the floor, jump ball. That's going to stay with the Lancers. They'll get another crack at it. As a sub-letter in for the Wildcats, it will be Spatana. For Aguilar, who once again heads back to that locker room with Miller on the pass and baseline. Lancers have had very good success in the pass and baselines for this year. Finds Quaid. Quaid steps inside, taken out of her hands, and that one going back for the Wildcats. Had a good look, probably could have just pulled up from a few feet out. Wanted to go for the closer look inside, ends up paying the price. As Ledger enters back in for Peterson. And the Wildcats back on the floor, holding on to a 9-point lead, 32-23. Trying to get their offense back going. Spatana open three. This one going to bounce out. Race to get it. Spatana gets it herself. Back up top with Beck. Beck will drive inside. Now it's a good look, and a foul going to be called on Nelner. That'll now be her third. We'll see if they send in a sub for her. And they're going to change that to foul on Radicals. Now it's just her second. Not a concern for her as the first free throw will fall for Beck. Second to make an 11-point game. And Will. Game's hovered around 11 points, has gone up to 17, has come down to 7. Returns that 11-point mark as Lancers that number continues to go down. As Nelner will step inside, over to Quaid, ends up going through her legs. Back out to Nelner. Nelner steps back in, corner to Goodman. Goodman fakes, needs an option. Trying to dribble up, gonna find Gurgle. Gurgle drives towards Radical. Back up to Gurgle. Drives in, fakes to Nelner. Back up top with Radical, into the paint with Quaid. Quaid will step inside, back out Goodman. Goodman, good look. This one gonna bounce out. Rebounded by Radical, she'll turn, step back inside, and gonna draw the foul. Nice, good job keeping the ball moving, looking for the good shot. Found Goodman. Goodman, it's a good take for her. She continues to shoot the ball well, especially so far tonight. Ends up drawing that third foul on Beck. With Radical back at the line, 50% so far on the night, turning back down to a 9 or 10-point game as her first one will fall. Now 2 for 3. Lancers back within 10 with 11:20 to go. Peterson back in quickly for Beck. Beck won't ran out for long, but still a little bit concerned with those 3 fouls with 11:20 to go. Spatana, also the other one for the Wildcats, who has kept up in the foul category. They're adjusting possession arrow there. Radical second to make it a 9-point game. We'll bounce out. Rebound by Spatana as Radical stays solidly at 50%. The corner pass deflected. And last touched by Nelner. Good job from Ledger to pull away at the last second. Will remain with the Wildcats with 11:14 to go. Passing from Spatana to the corner. Kinji. Back to Spatana, missed her last one. This one will fall for Spatana. First one of the night, puts them up by 13. Gurgle over to Nelner. Nelner steps inside. Triple team, pass deflected and taken away. She's dribbled into that triple team a few times so far tonight. Has yet to get anything out of it. Supposed to go over to Ledger. Skip pass across. Peterson to the corner. Pass deflected. Adds Spatana for the good look once again. She had a chance to double up on her 3 points. Being deflected, avoids the open 3, and a timeout going to be called by the Lancers. 37-24. Lancers have gotten it close. Wildcats pulled away once again with 10:48 to go here in the second half. Wildcats. They hold on to possession here on their end. Also coming in from Spatana. Coming off her latest three. Quick release here from Kinji as that one comes up short. Has still yet to hit in the second half. Has taken a few. It's past a Radical. Caught into a double team. Going to try to put it up, and a foul going to be called either against Waldera or Kinji. Both with one foul apiece. And we'll go against Kinji. No, that is indeed her first, sorry. Puts Radical back in the line, who has gone 2 for 4 so far tonight. First going to bounce out. Just keep her 50% margin. Try to bring it back down to a 12-point game. Her second will fall. Once again, 50%, 3 for 6. And slowly cutting into this lead. Still a lot of time left. As Kinji will swing it back over. Pleasure to the corner. Spatana doesn't want to take it. Back up to Kinji. Kinji will take it. Still can't hit. And it's rebounded by Quaid. Kinji now 0 for 5 in this half. After going 3 for 5 in the first half. As Radical steps up. A lot of space. Gonna get it over to Lydia. Lydia wide open three. First of the night. Still knock it down. Has yet to take a three. Wildcats don't respect it. And Lydia makes them pay. Brings it back now with a 9. To the corner. Spatana. Back up high. Swings it over to Kinji. Coming right up on her. Let her take another one as she'll drive around. Hands it up top to Ledger. Back to Kinji. Steps in. Back to Ledger. Back to Kinji. Pass a little bit high. Gonna go corner to Spatana. Skip pass across. Radical read it well. Almost overplayed it. She's now got a lane inside. She'll finish with the abs in hand. 37-30. Lancers right back within 7. Can they hold on to it? They've had it within 7 before. To the corner. Good look. Won't take it into the paint. Deflected. Poked out. Spatana. Gonna finish. Gonna slow it a little bit. Brings them back up by 9. Lancers got to keep the offense going. Back over to Nelner. To the corner with Goodman. Back up high with Nelner. Into the paint with Quaid. Back up to Radical. Open 3. Won't take it over Lydia. Lydia's got some space. Her second. Comes up short. Rebound Quaid inside. Poked out of her hands. Now we're going to stay with the Lancers. Back to Lutheran along with Aguilar for Sultana and Kinji. Now on the passing baseline. Corner to Radical. Needs an option. Trying to step inside. Over to Goodman. Poked away. Ball on the floor. Picked up and handed off to Beck. Wildcats chance to get it right back up to where it was. Over to Aguilar. Open 3. And hits. Tipped into the hands of Nelner. Nelner trying to push the floor into the paint. Too high once again. And that's the second pass from Nelner to Radical. They've not been able to connect on. They hit it once. Ended up turning into a good play. Once again, passes a little bit too hard. Need more of a loft into Radical. As they have yet to do that successfully very much so far here tonight. Remains at a 9-point lead. Wildcats chance to get it right back up to where it was. Corner, Peterson, here it is. Bounces out though, and it'll be rebounded by Radical. Wildcats struggling to hit from 3-point range. Did fairly well in that first half. As Radical just drives it in herself off the back rim. Rebound by Quay, tipped out of her hands. And back up the floor for the Wildcat, led by Ledger. Tipped out of her hands, taken away by Girdle, but it just hit the line. They will maintain possession, has open corner. Radical read it well once again. Blair was calling for it. Radical on it the whole way. Once again, once out of bounds, we another pass in lower to the corner. So a better chance for defensive stand for Lancers on the pass in. Getting it up high to Peterson anyway. The side, change direction, back up high with Beck. Into the paint with Aguilar. Hands it off up top, swings it back around. Beck will fake, step inside. Help comes. Can't finish. Rebound Waldera. Right back up and in. Once again, it hits the 11 mark as it went from up 14 to within 7 to back up by 11. Poked out of her hands. Quaid there to get it. Back up to Lydia. Lydia will spin and go. Steps out. Fakes the jumper. Now pressure. Back over to Quaid. Quaid will step in. Corner. Goodman gets it on a bounce. Good look. Off the inside. Rebound Quaid. Another chance at it. Poked out of her hands and a foul is going to be called. That'll be the fourth team foul in the half. And there's a better chance to get to the bonus here for the Lancers. Lancers with only 2 team fouls. As that's the fourth now on Beck. And that's big news for them. She will head to the bench for at least 3 or 4 minutes to put her in for what possibly could be a tight game if the Lancers keep this offense going. Improved significantly since that second half as send it corner to Gurgle. Gurgle will step up. Fakes back to Lydia. Lydia, good look, won't take it. Back across for Quaid. Poked out of her hand, she'll get it back. Steps through. Draws the foul once again. This time will be a shooting foul, and the 5th now on the Wildcats with 7:25 to go. Lancers possibly be shooting a lot of free throws heading down the stretch, with the first one being called against Peterson. Quaid at the line. Has made 1 so far tonight. And it'll stay there. 1 for 3 now. 50% her last time on the floor. So Lancers on average do average around 50% at the free throw line. So far, perfect 50% if Quaid makes her second, which she does. Stays consistent, and back up the floor will go Angie. Lancers back within 10. Drives around, gets a screen, steps through. Pressure comes, gets it back out to Ledger. Radical right up on her. Needs an option. Pass taken away by Radical. Has a 3-on-2 over to Lydia. She'll finish. Lydia's got 5. Only averages 1.6. Greatly improving that so far tonight. Lancers back within 7. Sorry, 8. To the corner. Horton steps up. Gives it up to Kinsey. Skip pass across. Good find with Aguilar. She'll step inside. Draws the foul. Possibly against Radical. Nope. Going to be called for a travel as she moved in first. That's a big stop for the Lancers. Chance for bringing down to a 15 game. It seems very significant as they've only been able to get it down to 7. As this will go over to Radical. Back quickly with Gurgle. Gets a swung around the opposite corner with Lydia. Back up high. Going to get some good movement over to Radical. Skip pass across to Lydia. Thinks about it. She'll step inside. Force back out. Keeps her dribble alive. And can find Gurgle. Steps up. Back to Lydia. Back up high to Gurgle. Wants the paint. Gonna find Lydia instead. Corner to Goodman on the run. She'll dribble up high. Steps in. Good look at a jumper. This one gonna bounce out. Radical read it well. Gonna get the rebound. Not a good look. Gonna finish anyway. Strong finish from Radical. Lancers now within 6. Closest they've been to the first few minutes of this game. Kinsey trying to find the response to Horton. Had the open 3, won't take it. Back up high. To Kinsey. Stops. Right back to the corner with Horton. Gonna take the deep 2. Can't hit. Rebounded by Quaid. She'll try to push it. Just 1 to beat ahead of her. Jump stop. Can't finish. Ball on the floor. Jump ball going to the Wildcats. 5:42 to go. As back entering in will be Smetana. And a timeout call by the Lancers. 41-35. Lancers in a good position here. Down by mostly 11. They've cut that almost in half. Within 6 currently. 41-35 with 5:42 to go here in the second half. Back to the timeout. 6-point game for the Wildcats. They lead it with 5:42 to go. Inside of the timeout. Possibly thought about going to the press. A little bit early for that. Trying to hold on their defense. They've done so very well so far in the last few possessions. The So that's been the theme so far tonight. That's this one poked away by Lydia. Nicely done. He didn't unfortunately go up with it. That's been the theme to get within 6 or 7. And leave it right back up to 14. They bring it back down to 11. Cannot afford to do that with time starting to run out. Open 3 for Waldera. Won't take it as Goodman ends up getting out on her. Matana right back up to Waldera. Swings it around the perimeter to back to the paint. Tipped out. Last touch by the Wildcats. Going back to the line. So a strong defensive stand. As that pass would be good if it was Waldera down there. However, with Aguilar, it doesn't have the kind of height Waldera has. The pass is going a little bit high. Beck is back out on the floor with those 4 fouls. See if the Lancers try to attack her and get her 5th. As they'll swing around quickly. Goes to Goodman. Corner to Lydia. Back up top with Radical. She'll spin, step inside. Help comes, looking for a handoff. Finds Gurgle eventually, back up to Lydia. She'll step up high. Quickly over to Goodman. Goodman trying to find the paint, can't find anything. Back to Quaid. Quaid drives in. Little fade away. Can't get a roll. Rebound inside, handled by Kinji. Not a bad look for the Lancers. As the Wildcat defense stays strong. Kinji pressured, looking for a skip pass across. Can't get her feet set. Now she's an option, and will find it. 1-on-1 with Quaid. Banks it off too hard. Rebounded by Quaid inside. She'll hold it and hand off to Gurgle. Gurgle looking for an option. Quickly to Goodman. Steps inside with a screen. Keeps her dribble alive. Needs an option in the paint with Radical. She'll hold it. Trying to get her feet set. He'll hand off to Gurgle. Lancers get set. 4:14 to go. Into the paint with Radical. Fakes the handoff. Spins inside. Good look. Blocked once again by Waldera. She'll save it in the hands of Gurgle. Gurgle will finish. What a find from Radical. Gurgle getting it done inside. Lancers within 4. Swings door quickly. Really, Lydia read it well. Kinji got the open 3 and comes up empty. Kinji 0 for 6 in the second half as Lydia almost had 3 points going the other way. Ends up not mattering as Kinji had a chance to swing that momentum right back to her team. Instead, Lancers still maintain it. Chance to bring it down to a 1-possession game. Gurgle fakes to Lydia. Finds Goodman. Back to Gurgle. Fakes. Needs an option. Finds Lydia. Lydia will step inside. Corner to Goodman. Goodman spins. Looking to go in baseline. No option. Back out to Lydia. Lydia steps back to the corner. Changes direction. High with Gurgle. Lancers need to get some action going inside. Been stuck out on the perimeter so far. 3:20 to go. Gurgle, still nothing. Over to Goodman. Radical comes out trying to help. Ends up going the opposite way with Goodman. Goodman will drive toward her. Goodman spins. Pass to Radical. Radical to 1-on-1. She'll fake. Spin. No option. Kick out Goodman. Goodman to 3. There it is! Big hit from Goodman. Lancers back within 1 with 3 minutes to go. What a comeback from them. Down by 17. They've got within 1. Kick to the corners. Matana won't take the 3. Back up out with Kinji. Drops it. Gonna save it in the corner. Pressure comes. Goes up high. Radical. Will end up with the foul. Nearly had 3 points going on the way. A chance to have the lead. Radical just a little bit too close to her on it. She'll pick up her 3rd. Not too much for concern, but they will send her to the bench with Nelner. As they cannot afford to have her on there for too long. They took her out in the first half when they were within 11. Went on a quick 6-0 run to put them down by a lot coming into the half. Despite the fact they worked so hard to get back here, cannot be out for more than 1 or 2 possessions. Spinning inside is Beck. Beck with those 4 fouls as well. Going to get a corner to Waldera. Waldera steps up. Back up high. Smatana. No chance of a 3. Back over to Ledger. Ledger goes to the corner. Beck looking for an option. Going to step up. Quick to the corner. Smatana. Good look. Won't take it. Skip pass across to Ledger. Ledger going to take the 3. Bounces out. Tipped out. And going to stay with the Wildcats. 2:29 to go. Lancers strong stand. Couldn't quite hold on to the rebound. They're going to have to do it once again. They want a chance to take the lead on the other end. Suns went up high. A little bit too high for Waldera. She'll handle it. Swing to the side with Aguilar. Back to the corner. Ledger. Mr. Last week. Going to take this one again. That one won't hit as well. Picked up inside Aguilar. Drawn the foul. 2 looks for Ledger. Can't hit either. 2 chances for an offensive board for the Lancers. Can't get either. And eventually, the foul is called and goes against number 15, Quaid. 2 shots going for Aguilar. Just the 4th team foul. That's her 1st. Off the front of the rim. Radical ended back in. Technically was out for about a minute game time, about 2 minutes real time. Instead of just a 2 or 3 possessions, but ends up not even having to go back down the floor on the offensive end, which they have struggled to get pressure into, coming to a contested 3, which is why They run it back in one. We'll see if Radical gets some things moving on the offensive end. Second free throw to make it a 2-point game. Bounce up the front as well, and another offensive rebound. 3 in a row. Neller gets a tie up at least to force the jump ball, which will send it back to the Lancers anyway. But 3 chances for an offensive rebound in a tight game. Lancers could not convert on any of them. Ends up being bailed out by the jump ball. But they have it within one here. 41-40 to a team they lost to by 35 less than 2 months ago. They've come back from down 17. Can they take the lead here late? Has Goodman corner, couldn't find her in time. Had the good look with a hot hand. Find for Radical. Radical to one-on-one. Steps inside. Comes up short. And rebounded by Wildera. Pass back high and around to Peterson. Under 2 minutes to go. Lancers cannot afford to let them take a three. To the corner with Smetana. Looking back high. Gonna find her. Back over to Beck. Beck thinks. Looks. Goes back up beyond blue line. In no hurry. Back over to Peterson. Corner. Smetana. Skip pass across. Radical there nicely. Pass deflected. Taken away by Radical. Another big steal from Radical because she's turning the points on the other end. Has Goodman corner if she wants it. Gonna find her. Goodman for the lead. Bounces up and out. Tipped out of her hands. Rebound inside. Kick back out. Gurgle the deep 2. Bounces out as well. Rebound Nelner inside. Dribbles it back out. The reset. 1:20 to go. Back high with Quaid. Quaid will step inside. Poked away. Ball on the floor. Gets it out to Gurgle. Gurgle looks. Fakes. Steps out. Gonna reset. Finds Goodman. 1:05 to go. Gurgle. Gives it to Radical. Tipped away. Taken away. 1-on-1 the other way. Draws the foul and the bucket. What a play inside. As Gurgle did the one thing she couldn't. Only thing they had to afford, they couldn't afford, was a 3-point play. And the offense still couldn't get anything going. Got a couple good offensive rebounds, but stuck out on the perimeter. And eventually made him pay. Got the free look down the other end. A chance to make a 4.2 possession game with under a minute to go. Beck's huge free throw. Gonna bounce out. Get the rebound is Quaid. Down 3. Don't necessarily need the 3. Gotta make sure they get points to avoid a 2-possession deficit. Gurgle up top. Over to Radical. 45 seconds to go. Corner to Goodman. Back high with Radical. Looking for an option. Gotta make sure it's a good look. Over to Gurgle. 39 seconds to go. And a time we're going to call up the Lancers. 35.9 to go. Can they get some offense going? Been passed around the perimeter for the last few minutes. Made them pay on the last basket on the other end. See if they can drop a good play. See if they can get Goodman in the corner. We're just going to nice quick 2 and then play the foul game with 35.9 to go. 43-40. Lancers in timeout. We are back from the timeout, 43-40, with the Wildcats up by as many as 17. Lancers brought it back within 1. Wildcats now back up by 3 with 35.9 to go. Coming out of the timeout, see if they got a good play drawn up. For an open 3 in the corner, or at least a 2. Needs something. Finds Gurgle. 35 and counting. Drives to the corner. Changes direction. Stuck with it. Pressure comes. Steps around to the edge, and she's fouled. Almost looked like they were trying to foul her. Not entirely sure why. They did have 1 to give. So now they are at 6. Next one will have them shooting a 1-on-1 at the line, which might not be a bad strategy with 26.2 to go. Everybody's had to shoot free throws tonight. As time, once again, limited. Going to give it into Radical here. Hand off to Nelner. Poked out of her hands. And going to stay with the Lancers. Lancers another pass in 22.8. Now the pressure of just taking the 3 starting to come out. Still technically don't need it, but they gotta get moving here. Drives towards Goodman, gonna find her. Back up high with Gurgle, 18 seconds. Looks like they're trying to hold out for one last shot. Trying to get Goodman open, still can't do it. Time running out, finds Nelner. 10 seconds, Nelner drives inside. Pressure comes, taken away. 4 seconds to go, and that'll do it. 43-40. Lancers can't even get a shot off. Had a minute to get the three. Could not do it. With those 3-4 minutes left, passed around the perimeter, could not get anything going inside. Made him pay on the transition and made him pay in the end. Couldn't get a shot off, ends up being taken away. Lancers not in a good position to foul. Good pass up the floor, and with time running out, the Wildcats get the win, 43-40. That shows major improvement for the Lancers, losing 70-35 at home. Wasn't the fourth game of the year. Still the same team, which ended up only losing by 3 this time around. Wildcats get the sweep and are now 3 games up in conference, and with only 6 games left in their schedule, looks like they could be able to walk this one out, even with a couple of losses. Lancers still got to play the Pirates once again. Did beat them by 3, but still a tough team to beat. See if they can pull off a couple at home as well. Got a big game coming against Webster, who's one of the best teams in the D5 as well, right behind Oliva Strum. But an easier schedule going forward for the Lancers besides Webster and CFC. They got a game coming up against Osseo on Saturday. They beat them by 30+, their first meeting as well, away, as it'll be their final game of the week. And coming up tomorrow, be right back here in less than 24 hours. It'll be C-Team, JV, and Varsity here. Blair Taylor for the guys. C-Team at the gym will not be streamed. JV will be here, which I will set up in the corner while Drew Eichstad is in the other gym. I will, of course, be in the locker room and playing in the varsity game. Drew will come out, and he will do the varsity game, so you can see scoreboard, get some commentary going. Should be a good view here. They got some nice high bleachers. I'll be able to get here nice and early, set up in a nice spot. We'll see you there as Lancer boys trying to keep the win streak going. Started out 1-6. They've won their last 4. Chance to get back to 500 after a tough schedule this week. 3 away games. This will be their third of the week. And first match against the Wildcats. We will see you then. Lancers drop this one by 3, 43-40, and drop to 9-6 on the year.